is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you on a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with that what to expect. This is a team that everybody was going crazy about and still is. It's just a team that we all dread and we all respect at the same time. But at the same time, you got to go out there and beat this team, and you shouldn't be fearing the team because this is the team that you most likely gonna have to beat to get to where you want to go. And it's the Golden State Warriors, a team that has 5 All-Stars and 5 All-NBA players because DeMarcus Cousins was going to make it until he tore his Achilles. And then they was able to pick him up for cheap. He might not be back at the beginning of the season, but even without DeMarcus Cousins, they probably would be the favorites. And with DeMarcus Cousins, they should be the overwhelming favorites. Now, this team has, underperformed in the regular season, not really winning the 70 or the amount of games that people would think with the amount of talent that they had that they should. Obviously, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant went through a little minor injuries. Steph has had a lot of minor injuries in the regular season and in the playoffs. You have Klay Thompson getting ready for his contract, and the year after that, Draymond Green. So it's just all about staying together and staying focused on the goal of just repeating as champions. They already did that. Now it's time to three-peat. This might be their toughest challenge, and I think that's why the season is going to be a little underlooked because once they made DeMarcus Cousins, everybody had their initial reactions where it was crazy, it was mind-blowing. You just was in that shock that DeMarcus Cousins went to the Golden State Warriors. But one thing we did see in the draft and throughout free agency is that teams haven't gave up. Teams haven't gave up on getting better. Teams haven't just gave up and just decided to tank. But teams really, made major improvements to their rosters. And that just lets you know that they're still focused on building cores. They still focus on getting better. They still focus on putting the best talent, available, on the court. And at the end of the day, when you look at the teams like the Celtics bringing back majority of their bench, they're coming back healthy. You look at the Sixers, they getting Markelle Fultz back, and everybody, gets that whole training camp to be together. You look at teams even like Toronto making a move for Kawhi Leonard. They could have just kept DeMar DeRozan, but they make a move to get better, to have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But not only that, to go to the NBA Finals. And that's a thing that a lot of people thought that, the Golden State Warriors was everybody might as well tank. Everybody's going to give up. They're going to be the champions. There's no challenge. It's just overwhelming. And teams have actually made strides and improvement to get better, regardless of how the Golden State Warriors have approached this season and off season. And on top of that, the West has gotten better overall because it is more talent to get and it is better players available. If you look at, all the players that were signed, it's a lot of good role players and there's a lot of good players. But you look at teams like the Clippers, they didn't throw it all away. The Lakers go out there and get LeBron. The Suns, they get Mikal Bridges. They get DeAndre Ayton, but they also go for Trevor Ariza. And they even make a trade for Ryan Anderson. You look at the teams like the Dallas Mavericks, adding DeAndre Jordan, drafting Luka Doncic, ensuring that bench a little bit as much as they could. Houston Rockets go after Carmelo, but they keep Capella, they keep Chris Paul, and they sign them to long-term deals. Memphis made improvements to their roster, not only through the draft, but somewhat in free agency, and they get Mike Conley back. The Pelicans add Jaleel. They add Julius Randle. They still have Anthony Davis. They still have Drew Holiday. The Spurs make the trade to get rid of Kawhi Leonard, who wanted to be out, but they get DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, plus they picked up some more bench players like Marco Bellinelli. The Denver Nuggets, they could have held suit. They make some trade. The Timberwolves, they bring in some added depth. The Oklahoma City Thunder, They get rid of Carmelo, but they add more depth to their bench, and they get another year of growing together with Paul George. The Trailblazers and the Jazz, all these teams are still going to be trying to compete and still going to try to go out there and be competitive, regardless if they got DeMarcus Cousins or not. And that's another thing. We don't know when DeMarcus Cousins comes back. Depending on when he come back, they got to acclimate him into the offense. They have to find ways to utilize him. They have to find his tendencies, and that's most of the things you have to do when you play with the person, whether it's in practice or whether it's on the court. You have to build that chemistry with these players, and it's not going to be that easy because DeMarcus Cousins is a guy that could fit in very well because he can shoot, he can post up, he can get to the free throw line, he can handle the ball. But when you have all these guys that can do the same things, how do he fit? Will he be more on the perimeter? Will he stay inside? He is going to be a threat offensively because he can shoot the mid-range in the three, but we still have to see it work out. We can't just jump to a conclusion, oh, they got DeMarcus Cousins, and now they're going to be significantly better. That's what we think because of his name. That's what we think because how he plays, but we still have to see it play out. Draymond Green, Kevin Durant are always one of the league leaders in technical fouls. Will that hurt them? Will that make it even worse having three guys that leads the NBA in technical fouls? Not only that, Steph Curry. How is he going to come out? I'm not questioning him. I'm just saying this is a thing that is they going to come out with an urgency? Is they going to come out fighting? Is they going to try to come out and put the world on notice? Is they going to come out like last year where they played okay? They played decent. It wasn't where we thought they would be, especially adding more depth to that bench. And you look at this team right now, coming into this season, they have guys like Quinn Cook who can play, but Jordan Bell. They also added guys like Jonas Jerebko and Kevon Looney still on his roster. Patrick McCaw may not even be on the roster. Nick Young may not even be on the roster, but most likely won't. So they still have Iguodala. They still have Sean Livingston. That should be good enough for them because they don't really need them that much because they have one of the best starting fives in NBA history on paper. But I really want to see this Golden State Warriors team. I think that's going to be one of the biggest lines for this team too, is that a lot of people are going to tune in and want to watch. They want to see this team lose. They want to see teams beat them. They want to see how great this team is, or is they going to be overrated. So this season is going to be interesting for the Golden State Warrior. They have majority of their main nucleus and core intact. They have had Kevin Durant for multiple seasons, so they don't really have to build nothing there, but it's just fighting complacency. And that's something that I even had to do in this career, continuing to make videos, continuing to be consistent, continuing to have an excellent standard of greatness each and every video. And it does get tiresome because you want to do the things that you want to cheat, you want to do things the easy way, you want to do things that may not benefit you team-wise, playing-wise. You slack more. Remember, Shaq always told that story that once they won that championship, everybody had restaurants, everybody had outfits, everybody was feeling themselves. People wanted to go do their own thing. So this Warriors team is in a situation where they have a lot of talent, they have a lot of egos, and at the end of the day, they got to be all on the same page this year. And, especially going down 3-2 to the Houston Rockets, that's more of a wake-up call that they can't stay complacent. Because teams like the Celtics match up good against them, and they can easily beat them, especially with a coach like Brad Stevens. So it ain't going to be, the Golden State Warriors going to steamroll and roll past everybody. They don't have any competition. There's some teams in this league that can match up with them. Do they have the names that they have? No, but they can defend them. They can switch. They can put them in some nightmare situations. They can find other ways to out-execute them. They can find ways to stay in games, and they can pull them out. Even though you do have guys like Klay, Steph, and obviously Kevin Durant that can close out games, but there's other players and other coaches that they don't fear this team. And like I said, a lot of these teams got better, especially in the Western Conference. They didn't just go away and just give up the season. These teams still feel like they can beat and compete with this Warriors team, and that's what, as a competitor, that's how you feel. So just like you seen in the game one of the NBA Finals where Cleveland could have had won, these are professional players. They're going to go out there and play. They got things to prove for themselves. They got things they're trying to chase and accomplish, and they plan for a contract in their lifestyle because the amount of money they're making and standing on this roster is important. So this isn't going to be an easy season. Teams going to come out here trying to beat the Warriors. Players going to go out there try to make a name for themselves against the Warriors because a lot of their games going to be televised, and they're going to be getting the best punches from a lot of these teams, especially because more teams have more talent. And then once you beat them once, you get that confidence going. So just remember that the Rockets not backing down, the Spurs not backing down. We seen last year that the Thunder not backing down. So it's not going to be a walk in the park sweep every series just because you added DeMarcus Cousins. Andre Iguodala is older. Sean Livingston is older. Steph is getting older. Kevin Durant will be 30 when the season starts. And, injuries happen. Trades happen. Trade deadline happen. The buyouts happen. So any team can get momentum. Any team can get confidence. Any team can add that other piece to put them on the level of the Warriors. And remember, it's other teams that's just as talented on paper as this Warrior team. Maybe not the names, but when you look at the complete rosters, they have an opportunity to compete with the Warriors at the end of the day. And you never know what can happen in the series. You never know what can happen in the regular season. So it's not guaranteed that this Warriors team is going to walk into it and just win. Because remember, I'm a Celtics fan. In 07, 08, everybody predicted that we was going to win a championship. We struggled against the Hawks. We struggled against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We went 7 games and we could have lost that game. Remember, we came back in 09. We didn't even make it to the NBA Finals in 09. It was the Orlando Magic that made it out of the Eastern Conference, and we had a stacked and more better roster. We didn't even make it to the NBA Finals. Remember, in 2010, we was the favorites. We lost in 2010 in the Game 7 to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we was the favorites in that series. So nothing is guaranteed in the NBA. You have to play the whole season. You have to play with all these things. And I don't think the Warriors, I'm not saying that they won't be able to win it, but you have to be optimistic and you have to see that just because they added this or that, stuff can still happen. Things can go wrong, and in reality, this team can be beat because they are human. They make mistakes, and they do flop. They do crumb under pressure, and they do lose, and is a part of the game. So at the end of the day, I do think this Warrior team will get at least the top 2 seed in the Western Conference. That should be good enough to get them to the Western Conference. I think on right now that they are better than the Rockets. They are better than the San Antonio Spurs and all the teams in the West on paper. But with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, I think they will be on a mission to three-peat. That's something that they haven't done. I think that after getting knocked out by the Rockets, getting hit a couple times by the Rockets, even in games 6 and 7, I think they know that they have another level that they can hit, and they didn't really hit that level last year. They just coasted and did good enough, but they was able to pull through. And I think right now, seeing the talent and seeing at these first 2-3 months that teams are not going to be scared of the Warriors, team going to try to knock out the Warriors. I think that that's going to give them that sense of urgency. That's going to give them that sense of we have to do better. We have to go out here and really try to beat these teams and take their heart out. And I think that that's going to give them the momentum and the energy and mindset to go out here and approach this season just like any other season as like you can lose it. And when you win 2 championships, you do feel like it's easy. You do feel like you don't have a challenge. You do feel like, we're going to beat anybody, especially when you're a 2-time champion. But I think this season with the teams and the rosters getting so much better, I think that they're going to realize they have to up their level of play to beat these teams. And I do think they get to the NBA Finals. I do think they play the Celtics, and I do think they beat them in 6 or 7. That's my prediction. That's what I think going to happen. And I think that the Celtics going to give them a run for their money. Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Morris, Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart. This team, and that's not even everybody, like Aaron Baines. I can keep going on and on. That team can compete and probably just as good as the Warriors if you look at the whole roster from top to bottom compared to each other. So it's not going to be like they don't have no competition like people said against the Cavaliers last year. A lot of these teams are young, they're athletic, and they got multiple ball handlers, multiple ball movement, and multiple shooters. So these teams can compete with the Warriors. It just, Steph and KD is just too much, especially when you add the fact that you have DeMarcus and Klay Thompson. And then you also got to remind you have Draymond Green. So that's the tough part about it. But talent does win. Steve Kerr is an excellent coach, and they should be able to get it done in three-peat. And then next year, it's going to be even harder to four-peat. But if they win a championship this year, they have a chance to do it, which is difficult to do in general. But they're gonna have to add some more pieces to four-peat. But I do think they three-peat, and I think it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a hard ride. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my spread shirt. Comment that'll be in the comment section in the description below. You can buy merchandise like hoodies, shirts, sweatshirts, mouse pads, pillowcases, whatever. If you want to support the brand and you want to support the movement, and just purchase something, that'd be fine. Also, continue to subscribe, continue to watch my old videos, and continue to enjoy the content. Let me know what you guys think about the Warriors. Underrated, overrated, champions, not champions, lose to the Rockets, lose to the Warriors, lose to the Thunder, or even repeat as champions again.